Here we go again. Here we go again. Just as I was getting out of the life, they pull me back in. Well, let's get into it. Apparently, there has been some talks about. I don't even know how I'm gonna do this, but fuck it. Umar did something that 99% of the time he does, and that's tell the fucking truth. As far as general overall how the world works. Hell, he went to school at Mills University. He's capable of doing that. So anyway, this FBA stuff, he had an opinion on. Everybody jumped on it, and everybody jumped on his throat. But then it's kind of ironic that people who jumped down his throat end up jumping down other people's throats, which makes it even ironic when people start infighting, right? Why are you blaming him? Blame yourself. Blame yourself for the bullshit that you end up putting yourself through. It's not one individual. Going back, and before I go into the whole Loon Umar thing, which everybody ate up already, which I didn't even want to do in the first place. But I look, and shouts out to Mahogany. Mahogany Roots did a live stream. I think it was last night. I think it was either last night or 2 nights ago, whatever. Something about this whole Marianne shenanigans. I wasn't paying attention to the shit because half of the shit was a lie. Um, Basically, it was all about a goddamn check. It was all about a check that he got sued for. I guess it was back pay or some stupid shit. I guess. Anyway, she proclaimed that she won her case, and she proclaimed she got a check. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that shit backfired like I thought it would, just like the whole what's the lady's name? Goat throat thing. The goat throat chick didn't realize that he didn't think she was gonna show up to court. Ah la la la. Ha la ha. And he ended up winning this case. So that's one. With this one, uh, I'm just gonna play the clip. Mahogany, I'm just gonna tell you out front. If I see you, I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to get angry. I'm not gonna get upset. This has nothing to do with you necessarily. It has to do with any and everybody else who's in this new clique, this new regime called the Umar sector, which is dead on arrival. No one cares about the Umar sector. That's just who they are. A bunch of nitwits who just come together and just don't like Umar. They're anti-Umar. That's what it is. But they have no future. They have no substance. They have nothing. They have nothing of value. What can you teach? What can you teach others other than drag somebody down that's doing better than you? What type of morals do you have? They're dead. They're just gone. They're dead. Nobody wants to fuck. Nobody wants to fuck with them. No one ever. They end up harassing a whole bunch of fucking people. They harassed Dee Durrell. They harassed Tiffany Griffin at one point. They nearly harassed. Eyes Antonia took $800 from. You know what? I'm gonna leave that shit alone. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm done with it. I'm done. The only person I would and do videos about would be Umar, but I left it to Philly Phil. Philly Phil does an absolute great job. Mwah! Shouts out to Philly Phil. You do an absolute great job. You're making me go. Sometimes some of this shit makes me go backwards because I didn't I want to be comfortable with shit, but niggas like this shouldn't even exist online. You give these niggas a platform and all of a sudden they just eat this shit up as if they're getting some money out this shit. You ain't getting no money out the deal, nigga. All you're doing is just creating chaos for other people because you feel like it's pleasurable, Uncle Mo, with your fat fuck ass. These people are incorrigible. I didn't listen. You have more moral and higher standards than anything, Barb. You do. You do. But I mean, we agree to disagree on a lot of things, but we can talk initially. It's the same thing as mahogany. We can talk, and that's what it should be. It's just we talk. It's called dialogue. It's like I talk, you talk. You don't like this about Umar. You don't like this about Ifatunde. You you don't like that about Ifatunde. I ask you all the time, is there one thing positive that you can say about Umar that's positive? None of them can give me any answer. None of them. This is like drag a nigga down day. All because of Brother Polite and Young Pharaoh and Tommy Sotomayor niggas and the Tariq Nasheed niggas. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't it just dragged me down to a point where I'm trying to get to a place where I don't even have to do this shit anymore. I already know he's good. I already know he's gonna do good. Believe it, love it, like it, hate it. He gonna open up the fucking school. And once he does that, then what? Then what? He opens up the school, then what? You're gonna have something to complain about then. You don't have something to complain. I don't like the light fixtures. I don't like this. I don't like the paint on the walls. I don't like the teachers. There's some ugly ass teachers. Blah 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 blah. It's always gonna be something. How about you? How about this? How about pay the crack on the one of the when he put the what year was that when he put those boards down? I forgot what year it was, but he ended up putting the boards down, right? Jesus Christ. He ended up putting the boards down, and then he had to put them back up again because some foolish boy gonna end up throwing something at the wall and was like, "Oh come on, he's just doing that thing for my money." It's like you can't win with black folks. They want something simple. When it's something small, they want it like Taco Bell. Taco Bell is very, very toxic and it doesn't go anywhere. They're still complaining about the Lloyd Jamal situation. Fuck that nigga. Fuck him and his ideology and fuck. Well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. I'll leave these people alone. He shouldn't even be speaking after he got his ass whooped by a white kid. Yes, I said it. Lloyd Jamal got his ass whooped. Logically, by a white man. And I'm supposed to take you serious. Okay, cool. All right. Needless to say, back to Marianne and this whole nonsense. The one thing I will say, and I will defend her one time, I will defend Marianne one time on this subject. She is an elder, and and I learned this myself, you don't come across elders the way that you do other niggas online. But then again, people don't, again, no morals, no standards, no integrity, no nothing. We're just gonna go after just because she lied. I would have left her alone. But obviously, people gotta click, view, post, state post, all because of one nigga. All because of one nigga slash pedal. I don't know who the white boy was, but you're gonna have to look up the video when they had a debate about when the Earth was. One person, Lord Jamal said that the Earth was flat, and the white boy was educating him how the Earth was round and how it rotates 180 wait, what was it 180 degrees? Wait, it rotates as fast as 180 miles per hour. And he was breaking down the physics of that. And Lloyd Jamal couldn't even do shit, and he just started pandering to other tactics like I talk about your mama tactics and all this other shit. He got defeated. But Marianne is an elder, a liar, but an elder. You don't I don't go at elders unless they are disrespectful to me. Unless you are disrespectful to me, I either kick you to the curb or I cuss your ass out. That's just how I roll. Because I ain't got time for the bullshit. This is taking me all this shit is taking me backwards. This is the reason why I said I'm gonna leave all that stuff up to Philly Phil. Because Philly Phil does an absolute great job. I don't have the emotional state that I used to anymore about the whole Umar situation. Even though I will back him up as long as he doesn't do anything criminally. I will back this man. I've been backing this man up for many, many years now. Done 2 interviews, shook the man's hand 3 times. We good. And I will not, and I can't go back now. I'm doubt has never crossed my mind. Doubt has never crossed my mind when it comes to school. But this is not about the school. Oh, excuse me. This is about the fact that Marianne probably wrote this check or some shit, but I don't know. I'll play you the clip. And mind you, this is a lesson learned. Never go backwards. Always go forward in life. Because you never know what is ahead. What you grasp onto? Niggas just love to drag you down for no reason. Oh, my ears popped. Ooh, that's crazy. My ears just popped. Ouch. Fair use.
Hey, y'all. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Irby. Hey, Young Riaz. Hey, Chaos Rain. Good to see you, boo. Oh, my God. Hey, Third. I'm so sorry I wasn't looking. Y'all.
For those who don't know, this is Mahogany Roots and whatever. She's a real sweetheart, but what she doesn't quite understand is you can't criticize somebody without proof. You can't criticize them without proof. Where it, where was the facts? Where's this? Where's that? She doesn't like him. I don't think any man. I don't think she likes any man that panders to women too much. The way but I have to break it down to her how he comes off across as being the type of brother that most of these Negroes today don't pray. They don't. Number one, they don't praise God. Number two, they don't give any complimentaries to women. Not all. Not all. They don't give any type of complimentaries to women. They just. It's just nowadays. It's like, you know, they don't have any type of respect for black women. It's always a big F you if you don't cater to my wishes and to my plans and all this other type of stuff. I left that alone a long time ago because none of that shit makes any sense. It may make revenue, which, oh, by the way, they do check on that. So Negroes might want to be careful of what you put on out on the internet. But anyway,
I'll give me a second. Shari King Black. Good for y'all. I like you. A lot of people like you. Let me tell you why your channel didn't just grow for super chats. They will do. I do believe that you're hurt because it's very clear that this woman is not a social media person. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't take advantage of people like that. I see a lot of YouTubers, and I'm not even talking about Mr. Lennon Honor. I'm going to get into another person. They're bullying her over there, y'all. And no, I'm not talking about people that I'm doing commentary, Super Slides doing commentary. I'm not talking about us. They got a whole sector over there, y'all, of anti-Umar. And I just said I'm there live right now. And that light-skinned woman, the one that Dr. Umar called fish tank, and the one that I defend, I'm gonna be honest, I defend it because I believe Dr. Umar is out here passing his penis around like goddamn Skittles. I do believe it. You get some penis.
that's Mahogany Roots. That's Mahogany Roots, Barb. Very, very sweet woman. Very sweet.
You get some penis. You get some penis. I believe it. He just oozes that type of Negro to me. And if you the type of woman that passing your coochie out like goddamn, you get some coochie, you get some coochie. I mean, niggas is gonna go. Niggas is gonna take that.
Not true. Not true. Although he is a single man, he's not married. It's up to you. It's up to you as a woman. If you wanna throw your panties at him, go right ahead. But you better be Pan African. You better be. It ain't that type of party. I'm telling you right now. He does want to get married. He does want to get married, but he wants to get married to two chicks. Can you please shout out my channel? I don't know you, sir, but thank you for coming. Come a few more times and I just might shout you out.
But she's over there talking about, oh, she would drag Marianne But she don't think Marianne is all there. First of all, pause. Let's pause. Let's pause for the goddamn cause. One thing I cannot stand is when raggedy motherfuckers, excuse me, lady, no offense, but you have been dragged all over YouTube. A few of us stood by you, but you've been dragged all over YouTube because you let Dr. Umar take you to Pound Town, honey. A man that you barely knew. You not only did you let him take you
false. All that they didn't have any sexual intercourse, is what I was told. All it was fellatio. That's all it was. He even admitted it himself. He said it was just fellatio. Wasn't no pound town going on because he said the coochie was fishy. That's his words, not mine. I didn't say it. He said it. So it was no sense.
to Pound Town. You didn't even think enough of yourself to have the Negro come and see you or whatever. You traveled to come see him on your own dime and took your son with you. Okay, you say it didn't happen on the first night. It still happened too goddamn soon. And he still didn't do nothing for you. And he took you to a house that you say should be condemned, honey. That's how much that man thought of you. And then you got on the internet and talked all about it, and you got the nerve to talk about Miss Marianne. No, don't talk about Miss Marianne. One thing I cannot stand, and when, first of all, I don't know what her career is. I believe she's some kind of nurse. I don't know what kind of nurse she is. They're saying that that's not true.
Lady Margany, that is dead on arrival. Lenore, whatever her name is, I'm just gonna call her original name, when she proclaimed throat goat. That's dead on arrival. When she showed up to court, and he showed up to court, and he won. So that's just. So we're gonna move on.
I don't know.
I want to move on because I want to get to this FBA shit.
Fuck you people. Ooh, about her. But unlike these people, like, I actually have morals and I respect my elders. And Miss Marianne is my elder at the end of the day. And she's a good-hearted person, you could tell. But she's not a YouTuber. And I feel like Miss Marianne, I feel like she needs that guidance. For me, it was my son. I'll never forget when I started this channel and I had all these horrible comments. And it was before I knew about blocking. It was before I knew about any of this stuff. My son said, "Mom, block them." And I was literally like so upset. I could not believe that people would say, "I saw how they treated you when you went over there, Marianne, like you were a superstar." All right.
That's Lennon. Lennon will treat you like a superstar until it's time not to treat you like a superstar. This pedo son of a, ugh, he's a pedo. We still got this nigga take walks in the park and want to record your damn kids without his kids. Like, what type of weirdo shit is that? Want to go to community centers where they got young kids that want to start recording shit. Now, I don't want to say that's Epstein type like behavior, but
And that was because you were the weapon against Umar, but now you're no longer a weapon, right? Because you've already disclosed everything. But you say you haven't. But I want you to understand they're using you like you're a weapon. I want you to take your control back. I want you to take your power back. Don't let these people use you. Number one, stop reading these other people's comments.
That's her fault. That's her fault. All this is on her. You play the game, if you play the game, you gonna play it to win, or you either play or get played. And she got played. The only thing I wouldn't do is I wouldn't go Topher tech and do all that YouTube panel shit. and yell back and forth with each other. I don't do that with certain people. I don't do that. I wouldn't even do that with her. She's a waste of time. I wouldn't even have my dog yelp at her. I wouldn't do that. There's what do I gain from that? What do I gain from yelling at a lady that obviously, let me not criticize, but obviously has some issues, okay? Obviously she has some issues right there. I don't even want to engage in nothing like that, bro. That's not my makeup. There used to be a time where I cussed a lady out like that. I have grown out of all this nonsense about if it's not of importance, don't talk to me about it. If someone's not taking over the world, if someone is messing with our money, community wise, if someone's child is not getting snatched up, God help if anything like that happens. If someone's invading um the United States of America, don't come with me with all this nonsense. Yo, Marianne did this, Umar did this, Lennon did this, Lennon did this, Lennon's gonna make Umar videos, jacking off to Umar videos as long as he lives. He got a wife and 5 kids and still jacking off to him. It was like, oh my god, there's another video. I gotta make more. And all you cookie coons should be ashamed of yourselves for fucking with a pedo.
I unsubscribe from Lennon. I'm gonna be honest. Unsubscribe from Lennon. There is no way. Well, I stay subscribed to some people, honey, because I believe in keeping my enemies close, honey, and I want to know when they go live. Yes, honey, we just want to know when they go live, honey. But you,
I didn't know you subscribed to him. The plot thickens.
You don't need that type of stress, Miss Marianne. You don't. You got a daughter to take care of. You got a career. You don't need it. At the end of the day, didn't you say Mr. Lyndon Arden came knocking on your door wanting to interview? You didn't go find him, so you still don't need him. Unsubscribe from people who have thrown you under the bus. And he did. He just did a post. I'm about to see if I can find it, calling this woman a liar. Why would you do that? Why not? You got.
Basically, it's like this. Lennon was looking at the check, saw how fake it was, put a post on it. Marianne got wind of it. End of story. So now she's getting laughed at in that particular sector, which that particular sector is dead anyway. So you got newer people now that just boosted, who just their careers, as far as I'm concerned, declined. You get all them clicks, you get all them views, but you don't get no fucking revenue from it. Versus when I do something, it's worth something. You dig? It's worth doing something because I don't do this shit every single day. But yet, if it's worth doing something, like, why don't you do something about, I don't know, a kid falling off a bike or some shit, or a white woman slapping a black man in the face, and black women just cram to her and just start beating the shit out of her. That's more newsworthy than anything. But you doing this, no one does Umar shit anymore other than the same few rinky dink ass people. Just a bunch of cucks online. Just because they ain't got nothing else to do, they ain't got nowhere else to go but to sit there for 9 fucking hours and start, oh my god. It's just pointless at this point. That's why I say I give Philly Phil I give the keys to her so she can do this shit. Because obviously she has the fuel. She has the fire, and somebody's been calling her out already. The throat goat called her out, and she's been called out. Get it? No, y'all slow. But anyway, needless, she's been called out to court, and the the brother showed up and was like, oh. He's like, ooh, show this, don't show this, show this. It's like, you don't tell a judge what to do. You don't tell a judge what to do. No, get out of here. I am in favor of Umar Johnson. Boom, get out of here. All of a sudden, he's gay. He was in Eastern Michigan with some. I just can't wait. I can't wait when they do the inspection and he passes it, and then of course opening up school somewhere in September. September is not that far away. People are going to have a lot to say. This is just how the black community is. This is the reason why the FBAs of the world are just as the same as the Ku Klux Klan. We don't operate the left side or the right side of our brains. Some of us do. We don't activate it. We always like to just do infighting all the time. Because it used to be plausible. It's not plausible anymore. None of this is cute anymore. That's why I want to give you a secret. There are two individuals that I clearly stay away from. And they're on YouTube. I clearly stay away from these individuals for the simple fact that I know I am capable of doing the things that an evil person is capable of doing. I don't want to be evil. I don't want to be that guy. So I stay clear away from these individuals. Right? You have what's called, this is the reason why I have the yin and the yang sign. Because apparently you need both. You need both dark and light so they can balance each other out. You need to say to yourself, they always go, well, fuck you, bitch, and da 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 da. You know what? I'm going to let you go. You go your way, I'll go mine. Don't mess with me, I won't mess with you. You go on about your business, and hopefully they go about their business. And everything's fine. Everything's fine after that. But you always get that one person. You always get that one person in life that always wants to talk shit all the damn time. Because it pays money to talk shit online versus if you were in that person's vicinity, if you were in that person's face, you either had to do what you got to do or you got to run for your fucking life. That's the only option that you have. Me, I got kids. I'm 45 fucking years old. I ain't got time to be playing around with these goofballs online. If anything, I'm thinking to myself, I need to get home to my family. So I'd rather just do you in right then and there and go home. I ain't got time. I don't have time for it. And there are many, many, many fathers who act this way. Many, many, many fathers who are always strapped to the nine in their cities and in their states. because there's too much going on right now in the United States of America for me to infight with some low level YouTuber. I'm not doing that. And I'm not going to do it. But come up into somebody else's city with that. Obviously, you haven't learned your lesson. People have not learned their lessons about the whole Vegas thing. I live in Vegas. Niggas come to Vegas just to get drunk and do all that partying stuff, right? But what happened to those two? Actually, it was three individuals. I forgot the names of them, but obviously you heard about it. I think it happened like last summer. There were three individuals talking. At first, it was two. They were just talking shit online, right? And then they come to Vegas, and the guy pulls out a pistol, pulls out the pew, fires at the guy, and then fires at the girl. He's serving life right now. I don't have time for it. I just do not have time for it at all. Who covered this? Trish. Trish covered this, I believe it was a couple of months ago. She covered it, and I'm like, ooh, okay. This is the reason why I don't hang on the strip. Just because I work on the strip doesn't mean I hang on the strip. Because it's just too dangerous. There's been a lot of, ever since Trump's been in office, there's been a lot of theft going on, and some Negro had the guts to kill somebody at a casino, stole a couple of cars before he got caught. It's just too much. And you think that I want to spend the rest of my life arguing like JP. Sorry, had to call you out there, bro. JP, JV for president. You think I have time to be arguing about dumb shit all day? I don't. I found something because of three individuals, Lisa, Barb, and Mahogany. Three individuals that nearly changed me around as far as doing something that gets the attention, should get the attention. Basically doing something else, doing something that's basically worth doing. And if I want to become something, if I want to become, let's just say, I want to become a senator, or if I want to become a legislator, if I want to become this, if I want to become that, I can't be doing this. And you should have that mindset too when you're going about this thing. Think on it. You want to argue with this person all day? You want to talk about, well, fuck you, bitch. Why don't you come see me then? Why don't you come see me then? For what? Are you gonna have a steak? Are you gonna have some steak and potatoes? Are you coming to a show? Are you gonna see the Grand Canyon or something? Make it make sense. Anyway, Lennon, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. He's gonna make Umar videos all day, every day. Doesn't make any sense to me. But once those doors open up, then he might either pack it up or he'll still have something to say. My only thing, and shouts out to Chat Lives Matter. My only thing about this, going back to Marianne, my whole thing about this is, and this is the last time I'm gonna say it. The only thing about this is I will not talk trash to Marianne. But there is some people out there, idiots, who will actually do this just for clicks and views. Don't know what they're talking about. Don't want to get into don't even want to get into anything in it. Just stupid shit. Okay, she lied. Get over it. I knew she lied from the very beginning because I was like, Umar didn't write that fucking check. He didn't write the check. So it was like, whatever. I'm done. I'm over it. But these niggas, we're going to have something to talk about. I ain't Umar, but this, why she do this? Why she do, man, she fake. Click. And I'm letting Mahogany know. I'm letting Mahogany know. Lennon ain't the person that you want to talk to. Because this is not the first time that he's done this. He's done this to another woman. Okay? Because he wants to so bad become the man. Now, let me keep going here.
Got her email. You probably have her phone number. Why not pick up the phone and say, Miss Mary Ann, the check is not right? And by the way, when they did that interview was like 3 months ago. So why now all of a sudden you just realize the check ain't real? Why all of a sudden you realize now the check ain't real? And why can you pick up the phone and have a discussion with her? God damn, some decency.
That's not his makeup.
But Miss Mary Ann, I want you to realize I'm gonna be honest, in all actuality, he don't owe you that because he's not your friend. He was never your friend.
There ain't no friend.
And you don't need him. You never did. People are subscribed to you because they like you. I like you. And I know a lot of people do too. But we sat and we watched you go down this rabbit hole, and it's painful. I want you to pick yourself up and subscribe from people who don't mean you any well.
Let me ask you a question, Mahogany, if you're listening. What makes you think Marianne wants to be your friend? Think about this and think about this logically. Let's just say you two do talk. And y'all may do maybe one or two favors for each other. But after a while, think about it. She's in the game now. What if she decides to turn on you, just like there was an individual who turned on me? Not naming any names, but what if she actually did that? And what if she actually just embarrassed you online for no reason? What would you do? Apparently, you hooked up with this individual. Why? Without knowing the hard facts of what went on. I wish I knew from the very beginning, and I would have took a DeLorean. I would have took a DeLorean from Back to the Future, went back in time, been like, no, don't do it.
Stop reading people's comments. Post your own videos. Respond on your own channel. And I'm going to be honest, shame on Lennon Honor for doing that to this lady. You know damn well this lady is not a YouTuber. Shame on you.
No matter.
Then he got a chat full of goddamn nobodies in the chat, just people who are obsessed with Umar, jumping in on this woman. And the light-skinned lady, what's her name? I don't even remember her name, but y'all need to hush Marianne. She another one that's kind of starting to tick me off, and I stood by her because, like I said, I believe Dr. Umar is out here passing his penis around like Skittles. I do believe.
Light-skinned lady. Oh, she's still on that shit. I'll talk to her later about it, but I'm done with this shit. If Mahogany wants to talk to me, she can talk to me. I had no problems. I have no problems with you, dear. Look in the camera. No problems with you. Because you always say, you don't scream at me. I hadn't screamed at you yet. Because I have no issues with you. None. None whatsoever. But you do Umar videos. So if I did an Umar video and I'm a supporter of Umar, but I talk to you all the time. So it's like I'm done with it. I'm done with it. If he's successful, and it looks like to me, in accordance to what I've seen, fuck everybody else, according to what I have seen and what I have witnessed, he's gonna make it. Now, the one thing I did say, the hard part was the city, or excuse me, city and state, the people coming in and doing the final inspections. If he makes it, he makes it. If he doesn't, but it looks like to me he's gonna make it. I had no doubts about that, and I will not have doubts about that. No matter who's screaming in the hills about this and that going on. He taking out the track. He took out the track. So I guess keep up ain't in your makeup. Most of these Negroes don't even know how to don't even know about owning a business. When you own a business, you gotta keep up. You gotta keep up equipment, keep up electricity. You gotta check all that shit out before the city comes and city or state or whoever comes in and inspects shit. That's any business. The plumbing, everything has to be has to be upkeep and updated. But we're just worried about the goddamn garbage. But anyway, to this loan, and of course he's making his rounds, and or Umar is making his rounds, and good job to that brother. I'll just succeed. But to this FBA, what? The beautiful mahogany is wrong on this one. Obviously, I know you're a Lennon lover. I don't know why, Barb. I think we need to have a little one-on-one talk about this one day. But I will let you see how weird this dude is. I know I showed you before, Barb, but it's like I let people, yeah, you know. But anyway, to this FBA shit, which we were supposed to be doing, but I thought I'd just throw this little caveat just to get this out the goddamn way. Since we all talk about Umar so much and his so-called disrespect of the FBA. Now, there are Negroes upon Negroes upon Negroes who will scream to the high heavens that Umar is wrong for what he was talking about on Loon. Shouts out to Loon, by the way. Shouts out to that brother. I'll just let you. I'll play it and then I'll give my commentary a little later. Again, shouts out to Loon. Shouts out to the good doctor. I think this is it. Okay. Yeah, this is it.
Because I've never seen a black artist put black culture and history on a stage as big as that, as unapologetically as Bad Bunny did. He repped his people in a way we seldom do.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. I wanted to speak to you also about.
Oh, by the way, just to let people know, because I'm streaming on both ends. The reason why I'm streaming on both ends is because on StreamYard, I've been shadow banned. I guess there were quite a few videos back then where I've done my commentary, and apparently there's some things that YouTube didn't like, so they're having these people just I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna make a complaint about it, and because it's happened to quite a few people. It's happened to DJ Genesis, um, but more than that, they're getting demonetized. Um, a lot of people are getting demonetized for some crazy, deranged ass reason. And I made a video about it stating that they don't want AI, but they're acting like AI. They want you to make this clean cut, don't use too much AI type shit. And I'm like, so wait a minute. You're basically trying to tell content creators how to feel and how to do things this way and how to do things that way after 20 some years, and then all of a sudden you want to change your formula now. You already take 33% out of our checks, which is bullshit from the very beginning, because and you get all these features and half the shit don't even fucking work anyway. It doesn't work. There's a lot of interviews. You gotta buy better mics and all this other shit. All just camera and the fucking camera. It's just, and they want you to pay $50 a month. Fuck that. Fuck that. People go to Restream anyway.
I'm getting a growing understanding of a movement called FBA.
Okay.
Pan-Africanism and FBA. Mm-hmm. How do they contrast or complement one another?
Okay. Well, first of all, Pan-Africanism is the black man's oldest formal political ideology. We gave birth to the first free, independent black nation in the world, Haiti, right? Pan-Africanists are some of your greatest black leaders, your greatest black organizers. If you're looking at achievements, nobody compares to Pan-Africanists. Nobody. Hebrews, Moors, Nawapians, Gods and Earths, Nation of Islam, I love them all. Nobody compares to Pan-Africanism. If you want to go achievement for achievement, you can put all them together. You don't touch us. Okay. And I say that respectfully, but it's the truth. Okay. AOS FBA, respectfully, I'm going to go with both groups because they represent basically the same thing, but there are differences, right? So AOS,
which is a descendant of slavery.
No, they're first. FBA comes later.
Okay.
Okay. But they both exist. FBA is more popular, right?
Okay.
AOS FBA. I don't have a problem with the American African people seeing the need to make it clear to other branches of the global African family that when you come here, you need to be clear that we built the house and rolled out the carpet for you. Be respectful in my home the same way you would want for me to be respectful in
what they call themselves, believe that, that's our stuff. And so I don't look at the African any different than I look at any other, ethnic group that comes over and tries to take that place.
If that's the case, where is your campaign against the Latinos? Because I don't see it. Where's your campaign against the Caucasian immigrants? I don't see it. Where's your campaign against the South Asian and North Asian immigrants? I don't see.
But see, what I think fragmented everything is the reparation talk. And so I think the reparation talk, a lot of the foundational, and I'm, I could be speaking out of school, but my limited understanding of it is, I think that they believe that the reparations belong to descendants of slaves.
Well, I'm going to say this as a Pan-Africanist, because we invented the reparations fight. It don't come from FBA. It don't come from AOS. This was around before they were born. You feel me? Yes. Pan-Africanists gave birth to it. Reparations for me is not about different groups and sects of the race fighting for their crumb off the big pie. There should be one fight, one reparation. Do you feel me, Loon? We can split it up how we want to split it up after we get it. But by you fighting divided for the same restitution, you playing right into the hands of your enemy. There was one slavery, took some of us to the Caribbean. There was one slavery, took some of us to the Americas. There was one slavery, took some of us to Central and South America, right? But there was one African slavery. So the Africans of the world, from the continent to the British, Canada, Australia had it, right? We should all come and sit down. Let's fight this together.
See, I think they reject
You
that.
would get it quicker.
Yeah.
You would get more because guess what? It's a united front. But because we hate each other more than we hate racism, because we hate each other more than we hate racism, I don't want to unite with no Black Africans. I don't want to unite with no Caribbeans. And you got Africans saying the same thing. I don't want to unite with no descendants of no slaves, right? I want to fight my own thing. So ECOWAS got their own fight. Black British got their own fight. Canada got their own fight. Black America got their own fight. And it's sectionalized.
That's what I'm saying.
Nobody communicating with each other. So the white man going to play his old game of what? Divide and conquer, separate and rule.
That's why I wanted to have.
Whenever I get an encounter with an FBA or not so much an ADOS person, because I know a person who I've spoken to before. She's a very sweet. I forgot. Please forgive me. I forgot who the lady was. I do have a couple of clips with her coming up to the panel, and she's been very respectful indeed. These goofs, not so much. Apparently, FBAs are a bit more aggressive because they feel like they have not been heard, they have not been addressed. They don't know. Nobody takes them seriously until that whole Tucker Carlson thing came about, and all of a sudden they're on the map. I was like, wow, you predicated on a white man that is not on Fox anymore, but apparently he has his own YouTube or whatever, and you predicated on that. Not only that, but I think it was no, it wasn't CNN. It was somebody on Fox that put their name on, some nigga that put that name out there. It's like, oh my God, we're here now. We're here. We're not going away. We're here. And they automatically took that drift down. Like, they just want us. I said this before. When you're that desperate to want a seat at the table, it becomes proclamatic that you just want to be used. You just want to be used. You just want to. I don't. At this point, none of us, including the amazing Lucas, shouts out to the amazing Lucas, we may not agree with everything, but I would have to say, when it comes to this FBA shit, this FBA nonsense, I'm with the brother 100%. So, with that being said, we and the rest of the world are trying to figure out, what is your agenda? What is your main goal? 1 minute you want to overthrow the government. No, let me start over. 1 minute you want reparations. The next minute you want to overthrow the government. I've heard these arguments before. Overthrow the government with 5,000 FBAs. 5,000 FBAs. Overthrowing the government. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. You have no discipline. You have nothing of trade. You have no lawyer to represent you. Your true representative is in Britain, which Umar is going to express that in a minute. You have no leader to lead you to it. You're going to say it's a lineage. It's a lineage. Who's leading the lineage? Someone has to lead something. You, your fearless leader, doesn't want the onus. See what I'm saying? He doesn't want he wants the money, he wants the fortune, he wants the fame, but he doesn't want the responsibility or the accountability of what may come just in case this fails. Remember, Tariq has failed plenty of times before. I don't even want to talk about that music museum that he has out there in Los Angeles. Don't want to even talk about it. Don't even want to entertain it. The fact of the more important, the fact of the matter that he has these people infighting with each other and separating from one another is very distasteful. Very distasteful. Because if we want to go somewhere as a people, of course there's gonna be some disagreements. But to fight with your brothers and sisters in a continent which they speak a different language, but they look like you, they look like you internally and externally. They just speak a different language. But then again, you criticize people here. You criticize people in the United States of America, like Brian Donalds, for example. Brian Donalds, you criticize him all the time because he says he has a Jamaican mom. I was like, so? Like, I can't give reparations because I have a Jamaican mom. But you were born here in America. So what difference does it make? If I were to go into y'all's family tree and find any, and by the way, when it comes to immigrants, you didn't say what immigrant you're talking about. Are you talking about the African immigrants? Are you talking about the Jamaican immigrants? Are you talking about the Asian immigrants? Are you talking about the Hispanic immigrants? Are you talking about the East Indian immigrants? Are you talking about what immigrants are you talking about? I don't understand. FBAs didn't ask to be recognized by top. Yes, they did. Actually, he did it himself. I guess somebody fucking paid him to yell out FBA or some dumb shit. But I don't know what you be listening. I don't know if you be listening to. I guess I gotta come out with some fucking facts for you. I just don't. I don't understand it, bro. It's nonsensical. It's just nonsensical. How do you spell his name? I guess. Oh, here it is. Oh, here. I was lying.
Is of Tucker Carlson and this dude named James Fishback, who is currently running for governor of Florida, right? He's in competition with Byron Donalds, that Sambo soldier.
You see, during Jim Crow, the Black family was together.
That's right.
During Jim Crow, more Black people were not just conservative. Black people always have been conservative minded, but more Black people voted.
That's Brian Donalds, by the way. Brian Donalds said no one pays too much attention to this kiss ass anymore, but let me go ahead.
Conservative lead.
You are a fucking
who is foreign born. Now, in this video, it's hilarious to me. I'm gonna explain to you why. But in this video, you have Tucker Carlson. They're talking about Byron Donalds, and Fishback is like, hey, it was made aware to me that Byron, doesn't even have a lineage that is a descendant of slave.
Which is actually quite interesting because I got a call from the Foundational Black American Society here in Florida who reminded me that Byron's mother is Jamaican, he is Panamanian, and they found it quite insulting, in their words, that he would try to claim victimhood of slavery without a single descendant of American slaves in his family.
That's even worse. Why would you call someone who is not black to complain to? What the?
I find it hilarious that he's calling me, racist for saying that he's a slave, but he doesn't have any lineage of slavery, in his family. So that's what this is all about. Now, Fishback also says that, hey, these people are absolutely American, right? And Tucker Carlson's going, yes, absolutely. I love these guys. I love this Tariq Nasheed guy and everything. They're really good. They're real fun.
I like those foundational guys.
They're so good.
Tariq Nasheed and all. I mean, I don't agree with everything, but they've got a perspective. If your family's been here 400 years, and the descendants of a lot of American slaves or families have been here 400 years, I don't know. I think that gives. I'll listen to you. Like you've
100%.
You've got a point of view that is legitimate, I think.
Yeah. And they're unequivocally heritage Americans.
That's for sure.
100%.
They're definitely heritage Americans, if anyone is.
I don't know what to say, but let's just be clear. This is not the flex that many people are making it to be. And I think this is because people are following an FBI agent who is primary focus is to cause division. The individual, the FBI agent, according to court documents, I'm not saying it, but according to court documents, this alleged FBI agent has already told people, don't expect reparations, don't expect any tangibles, don't expect anything from this moniker of FBA.
Damn.
That it's nothing more than denoting the lineage. That's it. And when you see Tweedledum and Tweedledee, these two demons, and they are demons, because they're big upping these people for mentioning, FBA and Tether, like, oh, we've made it. I saw one post where this person actually said that. It was like, Negro, we made it. We did it. And this is why we can't have nice things, because instead of actually wanting empowerment, instead of actually wanting freedom, there is a group of these Black Americans who are nothing more than Sambo soldiers themselves, but they have managed to.
I'm sorry. What? Oh, we did it. We did. Yay! What did Chris Rock say? Yeah, we won. With that whole OJ Simpson thing. Every time I look in the mailbox, it's my OJ prize nut. Every time I look in the mailbox, it's my FBA prize. Nothing. Yeah, we won. We won. Yay, we won. What the fuck did we win? Nothing. I can't go to the bar. I want to go to the barbecue, to the FBA barbecue. Nothing. I want to go to the FBA community center. Nothing. I want to go to the FBA grocery store. Nothing. We gotta delineate going to the inner circle, and we gotta separate the people who ain't of a lineage. If you don't sit your goofy ass, Nope. Not falling
Do
for it.
mental gymnastics to try and act as if they're for black empowerment, and they're about the black people, okay? We really about black people and everything. But in all actuality, they're nothing more than, Sambo soldiers.
He's out of line, but he's right.
They want a pat on the head.
Yeah. You want to be recognized. You want to be heard. You want to be addressed, because there's one thing that you cannot do is fight the white man mentally and physically. Oh, there's a couple of people that you would literally just tap on the jaw. But when it comes to people like governments, yeah. It's like we gotta fight them, but then again, you want to throw us under the bus. You want to throw people like me and everybody else under the bus. You want to throw people like him under the bus because they're not with the group. But I have a question for you. I have a question for all of you. Here's my question. How do you almost lost my train of thought. How do you go to a country that 1 minute you praised and said that this country is full of riches, only to turn around, do a complete 180, and say that these are some shithole countries that people need to go back and fix up, but yet you vacationed in each and every single last country that you've been to, in the Caribbean, in Africa, in the Caribbeans. Riddle me that, Batman. How are you going to make a video? And you can answer this question too, Barb. How can you make a video on the Haitian Revolution, 1804, but then gonna call each and every single one of these Haitians, what's the word? Tethers. Does anybody know what tether means? It means you stole something. What have the Haitians stolen that apparently it was in their own country, and they're in their own country from the beginning. So how can they be tethers? Oh, they come into this country and they steal from you? What do you own and control? That's why I ask these FBA people all the time, what do you own and control? Does anybody have an answer for that? Does anybody have an answer for that? What do you own and control in the United States of America? When it comes to the percentage of wealth, power, wealth, and influence in this country, how much of that do you own? You own 1/2 of 1%. White people have basically overthought, just powered over you for decades. You have fought to get to a certain point in this country, but never followed it up with revolution. And that's the Pacific problem. And this is the reason why you're so fucking angry. You're trying to find a loophole. And I want to say you went the Martin Luther King route and you wanted to go the Malcolm X route. But then again, you found out that Malcolm X's father was a Pan-African. Oh, dear web we weave. Malcolm X's father was a Pan-African. And, oh, but that was too much for you. So you even said this. I even heard this. We will follow anyone, that including Donald Trump. You will follow Donald Trump because he's the man in power. You believe that he is going to give you reparations. Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
That's what they want. They want acknowledgement.
The secret of selling to the Negro is expressed in one word. That word is recognition. But perhaps because he's had so little of it, the Negro needs even more. He needs to feel important and appreciated.
Instead of actual policy legislation, they
systematic. What do you own and control systematically? I'm not talking about individualism. I'm not talking about individualism. I'm talking about what black people as a whole, what do you own and control in this country? If you are not a businessman, you are a consumer, but consume black goods. So those particular goods translate 8 to 12 times in your community. Isn't this what the good Dr. Claude Anderson has stated? In order for us to grow and be competitive with other people and other ethnicities in the United States of America, you must do these exact same steps before you can even proclaim anything. Make it make sense. Barb asks, what do other groups of races own and control? Well, that's very simple. China. You get Chinatown, they own and control all this shit. You got Asian, you have Taiwan, you have parts of India. People from our certain groups from Iraq come over here, get grants, and they have your goddamn gas stations. The goddamn gas stations that you should own and control it to this day. Remember the bus stations? That's gone. Remember the airports? That's gone. So we own part of this much a percentage of, I ain't even get to the land yet. I have not even gotten to the land yet. Because they say correct me if I'm wrong, because they say in 2050, we'll be permanently a minority in America. We pretty much wouldn't, because 90% of the land would have been taken already. Because you don't take the time, instead of doing all this bickering and all this yada, yada, yada chat, we can do that a little bit later. Let's get together, gather up some of this money and buy some of this land so we can basically own the land and own the property from within. And then when it comes to reparations, receive your representative. I own my own land too. Again, individualism, always thinking about yourself. This is not about you. This is about us as a people, because again, we're only 13% of the population. That includes Africans, Jamaicans, Haitians, and there's only so much a percentage of them. You throw them out the window, something happens to us as American people, what the fuck are you going to do? You can't vote, you can't fight, you can't do anything, you don't have no food supplies, you own guns, but you don't make no bullets. So what do you do? Because if they wanted to, they can just, and they proved, and this administration has proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that this president can literally snatch somebody out of their home, out of their work facility that they work in, snatch you up, throw you in a goddamn truck or whatever, and to possibly never to be seen again. They obviously proved that. Do you have a counter for that? Obviously not, because I have not seen it. And hopefully in my lifetime, there's going to be somebody that says enough is enough. We are dwindling. And let me not get started on the whole interracial thing. Let me not get started with that. You are creating your own demise and you don't even know it, but you don't want to admit to it because you want something to grasp on. It's like, we don't have nothing else. We have nothing else to hold on to. So what do? Crabs in the barrel mentality. Well, you better do something soon. It's not just getting with your brothers and sisters here in America. Your grandfather, because let's face it, your grandfathers are gone. Your great-great-grandfathers, gone. Your great-grandmothers, gone. Your great-great-grandmothers, gone. If you still have your great-grandmother, God bless you. But even they got along with the brothers and sisters in Africa, and they started a coup until, of course, the FBI and everybody else started infiltrating into the movement. You have no plan, no concepts, no lawyers, no nothing, and want to convert to a lineage that is shrinking to a crawl. By the time 2050 hits, and let's not forget AI is in effect, by the time all this hits, well, I'm going to ask you the same question. What do you own and control? It's embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing. But let me not go too far with this. And let me get back to this. Say whatever you want, but until there's a plan, you don't even come up with the plan. What's your plan? What is your plan? What is your plan? What is your strategy? You have no strategy. You have no plan. You have no plans. You have no leader with no plans. So what do you plan on? Where is this going? Where is this going? It's crazy.
Conversation about the FBA and the Pan-Africanism, because that's what's going on. Although I hear when you speak, although you're Pan-Africanist, I hear some of the stuff I hear from foundational Black Americans.
Well, remember, there's nothing wrong with advocating the rights of your unique group. A Pan-Africanist in South Africa can speak up for South Africans and still recognize the greater vision and greater goal of a united race. You see that? So as Pan-Africanists, we don't just focus on the whole. That's the goal, but we also got to take care of our people where we are. But so I don't have an issue with the American African people having a Black agenda for themselves that they need to carry out. It's only when you start criminalizing and antagonizing other Africans as if they're responsible for the condition you in. Loon, there's only 3 million African immigrants in this country. They are not the group most responsible for siphoning off from your set-asides. Right. You know who that would be? White women, homosexuals, and Latinos, who they rarely ever talk about.
And you know,
and let me also say this, Loon. Let us be honest. What do we know about the psychology of oppression? The victim often imitates the victimizer. The oppressed often imitates the oppressor. What do I mean by that, Loon? I don't want to be the most oppressed person. I got to find somebody and put them beneath me so I can look down on them and mistreat them. But in Black America, a lot of this is victim consciousness. I don't want to be the lowest. So I'm going to victimize and step on the American African. I don't want to be the lowest. So I want to victimize and step on the African immigrant, because in America, we're the lowest. We are the lowest in the social order. I'm not saying we internalize that.
Right.
I'm saying that's the white agenda.
Yes.
We don't want to be the lowest. So rather than build myself up, my hospitals, my schools, my banks, my trains, my import export, you see that? My industry, my own trade market, stock market, rather than build myself up to compete with everybody else, I'm just going to demonize.
But what if it's about,
so I have somebody lower than me, because I want to do to somebody else what the white man been doing to me. And
I hope that answers your question. Parts of your question. This is just part of it. I hope that answers your question, because I don't know what else to tell you. The one thing I would tell you is to look around you. Look around you. Where are your mom and pops? There are very few mom and pop stores who are black owned. Very few. And most of those moms and pop stores, because of FBA influences, and let's not forget that some of them are owned by other ethnic groups. Same people who look like us, but they just speak a different language. You want to call ICE on these people to send them back to their home country land. You don't know if they have lived here for years or not, but yet you want to just kill off their hopes and dreams and what they build for possibly maybe 5, maybe 10 years. And all of a sudden, your punk ass want to come up and you want to make a phone call to get them up out of here because you've been treated unfairly. That's right. This is the reason why we can't have nice shit. This is the reason why. Barb, you keep asking the same question, and I just told you the answer. Like I just don't know I don't know what else to tell you. I just don't know what else to tell you. Apparently, I have to go even further into my logic. What if I told you every single countryman from the other side of the aisle has completely taken over? Not yet. Even Asians, the smallest group of Asians, have completely taken over the economically, completely taken over the infrastructure. Why do you think there's a Chinatown in New York? Why do you think there are immigrants that own parts of Miami down at the Strip? Why do you think over here in the state of Nevada that there's a Chinatown, an Asia town, a hockey town, and even in Detroit, a hockey town, a court town, an Asian town? Well, I don't know if you've been around, but it is what it is. I don't know if you travel or not, but it is what it is. Not waiting to be Pan-African and calling ICE. What are you talking? So I don't know what you're talking about. I just don't know what you're talking about.
We all have that disease. I'm speaking universally. Every African group in the world. Because remember now, I've met them all. They always look for them to put under their foot. If I can't beat the white man, let them join them by having somebody under me too.
So, but if it's about resources and reparations, so if it's about reparations, right, for Americans, descendants of slaves, because I agree with you. I think it shrinks the coalition when we have ADOS and FBA and Pan-Africanism and regular just black people who ain't doing none of that.
Pan-Africanism, our focus is the whole. We're the only philosophy in
inclusive
the world that is inclusive of everybody. Nobody else has that. They want to make you a heathen. They want to make you a Christian. They want to make you a Muslim. We don't have that. We believe in freedom of religion. We are about unity of the race. We see the African race as a.
What does that have to? Okay, criminal justice data. What does that have? Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. And you are right about that. But again, the main focus is just getting the people together who don't do the infighting to fight our wars economically with common sense. There ain't no other way to because time is too short. Time is too short to be doing all this infighting, and for what? And they always like to go back in time. It's Africans, they call us Akatas and all this. So you got one or two Negroes that call you Akata, and maybe some of you are Akatas, especially how you act. Ain't nothing different from Africans, how they treat each other over there versus the people over here, how they treat each other. Ain't no fucking different. You call it Akata is nothing different short from calling yourselves niggas every single day. Ain't no fucking different. Akata, nigga. What the fuck? Where do we come to some common ground? Where is the common ground? Where do we say, okay, enough is enough. Let's get this done. Let's come together in a majority type, like, just come together like Voltron. Let's just come together like Voltron with the big ass sword and just start slanging. So we can at least, if we don't get the landmass, we can at least be competitive. We can at least be competitive with our competitors and build up the revenue, so when we do get the reparations, it's in landmass, not in money, because you're going to waste the fucking money. You're going to waste it. You don't get how black people, how we are that damn selfish. Not selfless, but selfish. And then when the money's gone, then what? Oh, I'm broke than a motherfucker, but at least I got my reparations. God. Well, the common ground is we don't unite. That's your problem, not mine. Again, I told you, I don't have a problem with people from that side of the aisle. I don't. As long as you know who you are, as far as nationality is concerned, as long as you don't delineate from your Africanity, I'm good. I'm good with you. But as an individual, that doesn't count for me. This person over here, he cool with me. This person over here, he cool with me. He's from Nigeria. This person's from the Congo. This person's from, I don't know, somewhere in Haiti. They stay where they stay where they're at. Wait. They stay where they are and fight battles we fight our own battles. Why would you do that? What would that do? They fight their own battles over there, and we fight our own battles over there. What would that do? Do you know what 13% of the population? Let me ask you something. Do you know what 13% of the population means? Which means there's only 47 million. There's only 47 million blacks. I would say 47, maybe 48 million blacks. From man to woman, from man to woman, from man to woman. At one point in time, there were 85% whites in the Americas. Only 13 colonies, 85% whites, 11% blacks, and only 4% Latinos. You didn't migrate in this country. You were brought over here and enslaved over here in 8 different or 3, maybe 4 different places. And as time grew on, there were more and more blacks being birthed, but there also were more blacks being terminated by whites and by Indians. Let's keep it 100. And you want us to fight our own battles. That's not going to get it done. I don't know what your problem is with African people. I don't know what your problem is. I just don't know. What did they do to you? What did Africans over here do to you? Which they're thinking the same thing. What did we do? I don't know. It's all confusing. It's all fucking confusing.
Family that we want to be cohesive. We playing the long game. And we are the only philosophy ever been pointed out as being a threat to his system. You ain't gonna see no FBA on no documents. You ain't gonna see no AOS on no documents. You ain't gonna see no Hebrew, no Moor, no Wapi, and none of that. And I love them all. But what the white man said in his security memorandum was what? We cannot allow the black.
You keep saying what if, what if, what if. I don't do what ifs. That's not my makeup. You either get it done or you don't. Because we're going to be here all day talking about what if, what if, what if, what if. It doesn't work. Hasn't worked in years. Hasn't worked in decades. Hasn't worked in centuries. Because we're all here to this day thinking, what if? The Pan-African system, I would say, are the leaders of Pan-Africanness, the Marcus Garveys, the Kwame Nkrumahs, all those individuals didn't gather up together and say, what if? They actually did it. They actually gathered a lot of African Americans who were basically stolen and brought here to this country, and they actually followed a man who had an actual plan. It can't get no basic than that. It can't get no basic. It can't get no fucking basic. So you either do it or you don't. You either do it or you don't. It's that simple.
African and the black American to unite at all, culturally, economically, or politically. If you that was significantly undermined.
From a global
Africanism stuff. That's smoking mirrors.
Looking at global. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We the only thing he worried about.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, do you agree though that Black Americans deserve reparations? And if so, who has to
deserve reparations?
So, for what happened in America?
Well, remember, slavery happened to the race. That's where we're going to. You see, that's where the disagreements come in, because slavery didn't happen to Black America. Slavery happened to Africans wherever they were taken. What they did to me here is no different than what they did to me in Costa Rica.
But America don't have to pay for that. We saying if America says we're giving reparations for what happened to Black people in America, who does that go to?
I disagree. Let me clarify. There is no America until July 4th, 1776. But my ancestors got here under British North American slavery, not the Spanish. They were there first, right? But Spanish don't control the United States of America, right? Anglo-Saxons do. America was born of the 13 British colonies, right? That was born July 4th, 1776, Loon. So under whose control and dominion were we from 1619 until 1776? The British. Am I wrong? Who Jamaica want reparations from? The British. Do you see where I'm going with this? Who Ghana want reparations from? The British. Who Nigeria want reparations from? The British. So for the American African, to your point, Loon,
Which is your representative?
1776 until the present, that's the USA. But from 1619 to 1776, that's the British Empire.
See, and it's the same land. You see, and that's why I think the conversation has to be had, because
I think the point you're leaving out, there's a self-hate aspect to this too. And I know the ADOS FBAs, they're not the pretendians. And I say that respectfully, because at least with the ADOS, they admit their ancestors came from. I don't know how you get there, because as the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey said, a people without knowledge of themselves is like a tree without roots. I would love to see an FBA history book for their kids. I would love to see an ADOS FBA history book for children.
I would like to see any and everything coming from Black people, period. But again, we got to stop all this infighting. Oh boy. So, where is Africa? Did you just ask me that? Where is Africa? They aren't here fighting for America. You wouldn't let them. Black Americans wouldn't let Africans fight for them. Even if they had to, you wouldn't let them do it because of how self-centered y'all are. Some of you, not all of you. Sorry, American flags. There are far more of them than there are of us. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You talking about in America, or are you talking about in Africa? Because in Africa, yes, they override you 10-1. But if they were in Africa, it's pretty much, I don't want to say even, but there's only 3 million Africans here in America, or African descendants, I should say. But you are an African descendant of a particular clan. I don't know if you go to Ancestry.com and look the ancestry to see who's in your family tree or who's your lineage. I don't know if you do that or not, but you got to find that out. And most of these people who front all the time say that there's no immigrant in me. If I'm looking through your family tree on your mama's side and on your daddy's side, if I catch one of them motherfuckers have any type of immigrant in your family, You need not speak anymore. Whether it be from Ireland, Irish, if you have Irish people in your family, which I do, if you have Jamaican people in your family, which I do, if you have any type, because you forget the raping of our people, the selling of our people. I just found out that literally I have cousins that I didn't even know about, which is scary. And they all come from the same family, but the name had changed. The name changes all the time. So apparently, the people, especially from my mom's side of the family, the people who I'm related to, or we don't know each other, but we're cousins. We are cousins. We are not birth cousins, like third, fourth generation. I had just recently found that out, which is fucking scary. So then if blacks won't let Africans fight for us, then what is the point of a Pan-African movement? This is the point of a Pan-African movement. We don't kowtow to the negativity. We just don't. We let the people on board who we can agree to disagree, but all that bickering stops right there at the door. You wanna placate to all that bullshit, you bye-bye. We don't need you. So there are more than enough people that will say, yo, enough is enough. What can we do? What up, Morris? What can we do to end this? Because if we don't end this soon, we are going to be extinct. And then where your questions in? We're gonna be fucking extinct, yo. Does that mean anything to any one of you? Keep on letting this shit happen. Keep on letting interracial relationships happen. You can't fight the white man, but you're gonna be fighting me all day freaking long. Good luck with that. It sounds like blacks have decided to not reunite with Africa. They don't have to. From what you're stating, it's not just, don't just look at me for what I state. What I state doesn't have anything to do with anything, because I'm just one individual that you don't bother to listen to. But then again, you'll listen to a white man all day long. Not saying you, but any and everybody will listen to a white man all day long. Listen to, it all started with Bill Clinton saying he was the blackest president ever. And then when a black president comes along, he sounds like a fucking white man. You listen to it all day long. You listen to Bill Clinton all day long because he played the fucking saxophone. You listen to Hillary Clinton because she came out with some sauce in her bag. Like, what? Like, we really doing this? We have made local decisions. You have no power, is what I'm stating. What do you own and control systematically in this country? This is the one thing in my lifetime that if Dr. Claude Anderson would have retired, I would ask him, why do we always bicker and fight with each other over the same ideology that apparently we don't like to listen to each other. We don't. There's nothing registering. For if I look around my area and I see nothing but white people, and I see nothing but white people and Asians. If you go to your local supermarket, right, and you see nothing but Asians, and you see nothing but Hispanics, and you see nothing but Arabs, don't that register shouldn't that register in your mind? What the hell is wrong here? Like, why don't we see any of us? You don't. Because apparently, and this is not totally our fault, but when it comes to it, all starts with education. First and foremost, for our downfall, it all starts with education. They never want to give black folks any type of tools or instructions. They always want to give the white kids and the Asian kids because it's so fair. It's so fair because originally they just swam here from a different country, so we had to give them a little leeway. But you got black people here who are just trying to get jobs, but instead you're putting them in jail. And I know why you're putting them in jail, because they're to you, they're demons. If you look up in the Webster's dictionary, what does the definition of black mean? Dark, gloomy, dirty. On the other side of the aisle, if you look up white, it's pure and it's gold and it's God. That's one of the reasons why they don't want you elevating yourselves to a higher standard, a higher being, a higher purpose. They don't want you to. They don't want purpose. They want you still as slaves. The world may change, but the scenario never stays the same. It never stays the same. Oh my God! Oh Lord Jesus! Don't listen. I don't give a damn where you live. You can live in Houston. Who owns Texas? Who owns Texas? Better yet, who owns Michigan? Can you tell me? I got a question for you, chat. Hold on for a second. King gives thanks to your contribute. Peace and blessings. I have a question for each and every single one of you. This in there. Got a question for you. Who owns America? Who owns America? I'll wait. Who owns the land in the 50 states? In all your 50 states, including Hawaii. Who owns okay, who's the Americans? It certainly ain't us. So who are the Americans? Oh, we got a lot to learn. The Americans.
If they ever build an AOS FBA school, how are y'all going to treat identity in history? Because y'all cutting yourself off from your root, and you identifying with a man who's trying to get rid of you. That's the weakness of the movement.
Who is that they're identifying with?
Say that again.
Who is that they are identifying with this
Americans.
Okay.
Right? Both of them call themselves Americans, both groups. So they identify with the plantation.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, yes.
But they cut themselves off from the ancestors. You see that? To me, that is the greatest shortcoming of that movement. Ain't nobody taking me from my African roots. I don't give a damn what game y'all want to play, but you ain't doing that. There's spiritual ramifications for that. There's political ramifications for that. There's economic ramifications for that. And let's go political, Loon. Only an idiot will cut themselves off from a meaningful relationship with other nations. You cannot survive in this world without allies. Do you understand me? Especially when you are a numerical minority. How did Cuba survive America? Being 90 miles off the coast, Loon? Because Cuba had Russia, an international ally. The American African people need Africans as allies. We need our Caribbean brothers and sisters as allies. We need our South and Central American brothers and sisters as allies, not enemies.
Yes.
So you mean to tell me you fighting the white man who's the enemy, and I'm going to make an enemy out of all my black brothers and sisters around the world? That is insane.
Yeah, I don't
And it's not one-sided. I want to be clear, Loon. African immigrants are just as guilty of this sectionalism and division. I want to be very clear because I've seen the feed. People send them to me. Exactly. It is. I'm not saying that ADOS FBAs are more liable for the racial divide. They're not. It's equal. Some of the stuff I've seen Central Africans say about American Africans, some of the things I've say about them is unacceptable. So I'm not giving one blame the other. They're equally wrong.
Yes, and I think when I look at it,
and again, there are going to be those hardheads who come into this country thinking they're better than everybody. That's a given. That's a given, but that's also a take. You still have other people who come into this country and do nothing but work. And they start off with very few, and then they end up having babies with some of them have babies with Black Americans and other minorities, and they grow within the thousands. So most of them just want to work. They want to come here, just like people like us migrate to Africa, which I don't mind that because some of us need to go to Africa to experience it. Just like I Show Speed went to Africa, experienced for however how long he was there, and to him, it was beautiful. They always talk shit about what's in Africa and how dirty it is and how a S-hole country it is. He looked in this and saw the riches and the glory of it. But we don't want to minimize that. We don't want to minimize that at all. And people took onus of what I Show Speed did. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I mean, if you want to be all about that American shit, go be my guest. It just makes it makes it hard to live here. It makes it so hard to live here and not realize that we are in danger of being a lesser species. We're about to be dead last anyway. So what do you have to lose? What the fuck do you have to lose, yo? I don't get it. I don't fucking get it.
At all of the movements together, I'm just concerned that we do have a lot of infighting. But with that being said, that's
okay because I'm bringing the solution to this. Since we're knocking on the door of FDMG being ready, there needs to be a progressive American African movement that looks out for the best interests of the American African people, that does not demonize our brothers and sisters abroad, and that looks to build relationships with them as far as that can be done. So my movement to counteract the negativity of these movements we're discussing is going to be the DAFA movement. DAFA, descendants of African freedmen in America. Remember, Loon, After freedom came, we were known as what? Freedmen. That was a legal classification. We were the freedmen. My 3 times great-grandfather George fought in the Civil War. My 4 times great-grandfather Steve fought in the Civil War. My cousins Lewis and Charles, the sons of Frederick Douglass, fought in the Civil War. I'm a descendant of freedmen who fought to keep this country from being divided. And we have as freedmen, so we're fighting as descendants of African, not no American. You ain't never putting that in no title, no organization of mine. Descendants of African freedmen in America.
I like that. Do you think you're gonna get pushback for even launching that?
It don't matter. I'm stronger than both of them groups put together.
Okay. Being said, I believe that reparations, the debt is lineage specific. So I don't want to remove the point. Like I like how you put it, right? That before America was America, there were the same behavior. Yeah. So, but I think the British should pay for that.
Yes.
Or did you say when the funds transferred
part
to
of your reparations is coming from who? The British. And if we go 1619, right, to 1719, that's 100 years. And then 1719 to 1776, that's like almost 60. So 160 years of your 250. Guess what? Most of your time in American slavery was under the British, not the Americans. Did you see that?
Yeah.
We just did the math. Yeah. Most of your time enslaved in America was under the British. Is it not common sense, Loon? Unite brothers and sisters, Ghana and Malawi and Nigeria. Loon, we're fighting with people who may very well be from your same ancestral line. That is ridiculous. And we don't fight white people half as much as we fight each other. And that goes for us and the African side.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in both sides, bro.
Yeah.
For me, there's only one tribe, and it's African. You are either for all Africans or you are for no African.
That's
but see, with some of what they're hearing, but don't want to be part of the conflict and the division. But they say, I either
because it's a lot of that.
I got to go FBA.
Yeah.
Both of them antagonize Afro immigrants. I don't want the antagonism, but I do understand the need for us because we have a unique history that nobody else has, right? I haven't got nowhere to go. So they're being forced to join movements that they don't fully want to support because they don't agree with the negativity. So I'm going to come with the movement where, yes, we're going to do our thing as the race.
You two obviously love the situation that you're in, which is totally fine. I would say don't complain when the shit comes down on us as a total whole when they start getting rid of each and every single one. If this thing don't work with impeaching Donald Trump, if this thing don't work and he starts gathering other minorities and building from within the next 3 years, and you guys don't get to vote, but you're asking other minorities of black people to vote, and it's not enough, who are you going to ask to help you? Immigrants! But oh wait, immigrants can't vote either. Immigrants can't vote either. Nor women. So where are you going to go with that? This is what America wants to do is erase you from history, just like your books that some of you don't like to read, your history books that some of you don't like to read, your history books that some of you don't like to read. Your libraries are being extinct. Your education is, I don't know what they teach you education there. That shit there is questionable in itself. Oh, it's already happened. You can mock me all you want, but it's already happened. They're already lining you up and sending you fuck out of here. I'm talking about your brothers and sisters of the Hispanics. Even though the Hispanics don't proclaim their Africanity, which they should, but hey, I don't bother them too much. It is what it is. But since Lisa, you got so much to say, why don't you come up to the podium? We can debate this all day long. Instead of, we can debate this shit all day long. I'm trying to tell you what's coming up the pipeline. If this don't work, then I'll vote for my. If I had the ability, I would have been over there already voting for Jasmine Crockett to hit that seat, along with other seats to flip and turn blue. But she's gonna need more than just black men, black women, and Hispanics. She's gonna need a few. She's gonna need a few white people here and there. And when she wins the primaries, the most difficult part is the general. That's the most difficult part. I just don't understand your distaste for Africans. I just don't know. I just don't fucking know. He exposed Africans. How did he expose Africans? Who he tried to buy diamonds directly from. Who are you speaking of? He could not they have to get permission from Zaddy first. How sad that someone looks up to that. Sorry, the African grift is over. Get your FBA ass up out my chat. If you have no faith in the system, why push Jasmine? You should have no faith in the system either. You should have no faith in the system. When it comes to this government, you should have no faith in the government either. You should have no faith in the system. None. There are plenty of black people that don't have faith in this system. Hell? And it's not even about that. It's about trying to see if we can, if this thing is going to work, and if this thing is going to work with and literally I see this woman turning a actual corner. Apparently she's already getting death threats. Apparently they don't like her. Apparently they're putting millions and millions of dollars just to fight her and fight her alone. They ain't doing that with Hakeem Jeffries. They're not doing that with Hakeem Jeffries. They're definitely not doing that with Cory Bookham. So what are you talking about? That's crazy. That is crazy. And most of these FBAs can't even fucking spell anyway. You need to rewrite that.
So you have a solution. Your solution based in your approach to it. Because I know you see it like me. I'm new on Twitter, and just getting on Twitter, some of the ideas they throw around, I'm like, okay, I see where they going with. I see where they taking the culture. But here's the part of it that I don't find to be appealing: is that 24 hours a day, there's a space going on. A space, for people who don't know, is on Twitter, where you open up a room and you have these conversations. You bring people on stage and you have conversations among one another.
And they just go at it. Toxicity all day long. I can't support that.
There's a space of someone that's just arguing about, and again, it's amongst each other. No, you're Haitian. You don't have no right to be. And I'm saying,
you know what's crazy? All these labels didn't even exist before slavery.
Me as an innocent observer, I need them to understand that it's confusing. You know, you start to be like you said, it feels like toxic coming off of it a little bit. And so I hate that for the movement. But again, some of the stuff they throw around, like, hey, the debt is lineage specific. We want to make sure that foundational descendants of slaves get some of the money, because y'all had 400 years of free labor. Like, give us some of that back, right? And you promised us 4 overall, 250 here. But what I'm saying is, you promised us 40 acres and a mule.
I want to clarify that.
Go ahead, please.
The 40.
Listen to this. I want 40 acres and a mule. And I didn't even know this until today.
Acres and a mule came from one of Abraham Lincoln's field generals, right? And he signed a field order, because what happened was self-emancipated Africans was running away from the plantation after Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, right? Freeing all slaves in armed rebellion. He didn't free not a single slave in Maryland. He didn't free not a single slave in Delaware. He didn't free not a single slave in Kentucky or Missouri. They stayed loyal to Lincoln. I want you to keep that in mind. If you stay loyal to me, you can keep your slaves.
Right.
So this general said, I got all this contraband. That's what they called us, right? Liberated property.
Goodness.
Running to me. I got to do something with them, right? So he said, in the field, without Lincoln's approval, I'm going to give him 40 acres and a mule, which he started to do, right? So he started to give him the 40 acres and a mule. And then Abraham Lincoln said, I never approved.
So he started to actually.
Right, but he didn't have permission from the president, right? But Lincoln didn't agree with it. He told him to stop, but he didn't make him undo what he did. You know when it got undone? After Lincoln was assassinated. And then Andrew Johnson. Was it Jackson or Johnson? Because we had a president, Andrew Jackson. We had a president, Andrew Johnson. I think it was Andrew Johnson. He came in after Lincoln and he shut it down and gave that land back to the Confederates. So it was never a presidential executive order. It was never approved of by Congress. The 40 acres and a mule was a limited order issued by a general who wanted to do something to help the freed runaways start a life for themselves.
So you tell.
So basically, you've been lied to. You've been lied to. Black America as a whole has been lied to. You don't half-ass it, and then the next president just takes it all away. You've been lied to. By the person that you've been holding on dear for so long. Wow. That's how I take it. You've been lied to. They weren't going to offer you 40 acres and a mule on $100. They weren't going to do that. He doesn't have the story completely right, or he didn't tell it right. Okay, Barb. Okay. Sounds about right to me. Because Emancipation Proclamation never freed the slaves They only freed the slaves who were in rebellion. They only wrote that because the people who he picked out in war, and they were going. And quite frankly, they were supposed to be the free blacks. Never happened like that. That was one of the mostly was one of the reasons why he was assassinated. He was up on the balcony, bam, shot his head off, and took everything away from blacks. Everything. You weren't freed until 1865. So I'm saying to this very day, when everything's changing, AI is taking all these jobs and shit, what do you got to lose? What do you have to lose? Is she a part of the system, or is she a part of the system because she has no other choice to be a part of the system? I bet you if she wanted to, she can operate differently. She doesn't necessarily have to operate within the system. She doesn't necessarily have to do that. Although she'll be taking a mighty big risk, just like she's taking a risk right now. You don't talk about follow the money and getting in the way with it as if you're just, I don't know. You just don't say things like that. I mean, you could talk about anything that you want to talk about, but following the money, now that's going to trigger some individual, or I should say group. But again, she doesn't have to, just because she works for the system doesn't mean she has to operate with it. She doesn't have to operate the way they want her to operate within the system. Hell, they wanted her to act like freaking like a white woman. Did that work for her? No. She started acting like herself, which is quite frankly a issue with some people. She doesn't have to she work within the system, but she just has to operate within the system. But like I said, we got a long way to go and a short time to get there. All I'm saying is, what do you have to lose? And still, I just don't see the issue. I just don't see the issue. You want to delineate yourself from any and everybody who does not identify as black. You even know what black means. Let me not go there because y'all bright for that one. Y'all bright for that one. You refuse to see. Well, Jasmine's a grown woman, and she doesn't see it now. She'll see it later. Which I do believe she sees what the system is. You can absolutely change it. You can change it from within or destroy it, because she sees the bullshit that's operating all around us, and she wants to destroy it from within. My belief, not yours. See, some of you are living in the old ways of living, but she's not actually doing that. she's seeing the bullshit from within. And I hope nothing happens to old girl. I really don't. I made plenty of videos before stating that she needs to be protected because she triggered a couple of people. Most of that was Donald Trump's people. It was just like what LeBron James did, what he said about fucking China. I forgot what he said about China, and they put nigger on his property or whatever. It's just like I said, Jasmine's a grown woman. She sees the bullshit, and I see the bullshit. I just hope when she hits that seat that she continues the path of what I would call true righteousness. Not pandering to everything white people throwing in it goes, oh, okay, I'll see about it, and doesn't even pay attention to black people. Don't even pay no attention to them. Just like the Obamas of the world. Well, let me not say Obama because y'all can't stomach that. Y'all can't take the Barry Soweto's not doing a goddamn thing for you. Let me not go that route. But let's hope and pray that Jasmine not kowtow so much, because it's just like Martin Luther King. He couldn't. That's a perfect example. Perfect example. When Martin Luther King wanted blacks and whites to be together, that was just a fucking cover. Or did you not know that? Did you not know that he was just as much as a Pan-Africanist than anything? He was just more like Marcus Garvey, but he couldn't put it in the forefront because of who he was working with. That's why him and Malcolm X didn't exist until the end. But it was through Caressa Scott King that Malcolm and Martin were going to control the United States, not only morally, not only spiritually, not spiritually, systematically, but economically. Maybe, just maybe, Jasmine's doing the same thing. I don't know, but I just feel it in my spirit. And if you think that this system is going to let her do what Malcolm or Martin did, you're crazy. You're crazy. You got to switch it up somehow. And she, like I said, she's already getting death threats. She's already, people are wasting so much money against her, and hopefully that, she wins. And quite frankly, she's not going to win because she's this color and she's this ethnicity. She's a female and all this other shit. And I don't even want to think about the other side. I don't even want to think about the negativity. Let's get this woman in. Let's get this woman in, donate some money to her campaign, and let's hope she lasts 5 or 10 years. You have all this sustain for Kamala. Let's see if this woman makes it. You love Kamala so much, the black woman. What's going on? What is really going on? Who was married to a white man, by the way, but let me not say that. I guess people forgot who I was and who I represented. Nothing in this particular movement is infiltrated by any other ethnicity but my own. Which leaves the question, which nobody bothered to answer, what is your problem with African immigrants? They can both get lost. You talking about Jasmine and Kamala? So I leave it that you're a Trump supporter. You need to make up your minds and make up your mind soon. You just don't like, okay, you just don't like women in power. I wasn't talking to you, Barb. You already answered that question. Correct. You already answered that. I'm asking everybody else. I wonder I don't like fake people. How is she fake? You talking about Jasmine or you talking about Kamala? We all know the story about Kamala, so we don't have to get into all that. But just to piss men off, I'm actually gonna vote for her because I don't trust Gavin Newsom. I don't. I just don't. Is there something about Gavin Newsom that says, nah, I'm good? Jasmine's Jasmine's good in my book. Jasmine is definitely good in my book. She's continuously talking to the youth, and that's where it starts. If you want change, if you want change, especially in America, start young, and that's what she was doing. I like the fact that she actually is talking to the youth. Which, did Obama talk to the youth? Hell no. Does anybody know if Obama encouraged the young cats to be congressmen? Did Obama encourage the young cats? I'm talking about black folks in general. It encouraged the young cats to be Democratic senators? Hell no. But he had no problem. He had no problem going to Africa and open up the borders to all the gays. Oops. Yes, he did. That was one thing he did do. So if he did do that, then how come he ended up arresting? He ended up arresting the two young cats that started asking, "What is your plan for black people?" I'm still on that shit all day. Because when I first seen it, I'm like, what was all that shit about? And then later on, I find out about, okay, y'all love y'all little leader so bad. Hey, ooh, you love your leader so bad. And see, go. Information. See, this is the reason why I left the Umar sector years ago. This is the reason why. And you got another clown up here doing the whole Marianne thing. This is the reason why I left in the first place. But wait a second. Let's here. No, might as well. I think it's 2009, I believe. 2009. Let's see. Nope. No, this is what I can do. This is what I can do. Wait. Black. And no. I guess Nobel. Okay.
By the way, he was doing business for the Council of Foreign Relations, of which he and his wife are both members. Okay. Barry Soweto, aka Barack Obama, who was in Russia at the time, was called from Russia. By the way, he was doing business for the Council of Foreign Relations, of which he and his wife are both members. Okay? And if you belong to the Council of Foreign Relations, you are only about the exploitation of Africa, period, because that's why I was established. He and his wife are members. He was called from Russia to come back to New Orleans to accompany. Now, this is 05. This is August 05. Okay? He was called back to accompany George Bush and President Clinton. The last two and Obama go to New Orleans together to shake hands. Now, my question to you is, why is it that a little-known black senator from Chicago, and he's not from Chicago, he moved there, we'll get into that later, but why would a little-known state senator from Chicago be told to go to New Orleans with the last two U.S. presidents? You do the math. It's because they chose them before you knew them. But the problem is we don't think. The propaganda of the media sweeps up black people every 4 years, and we fall for the same nonsense. Every day, somebody who was a half Negro, you would really lose your mind. Right. You would really lose your mind. And by the way, Bill Clinton has been inducted in the Arkansas Black Hall of Fame. He's the first white person in history to be inducted in the Arkansas State Black Hall of Fame. Yes, he is. Show me a black person in the Jewish Hall of Fame, Italian Hall of Fame, Polish Hall of Fame, Anglo Hall of Fame, you won't find it. Arab Hall of Fame, Asian Hall of Fame, you won't find it. But when you go back to our history, being slavery or colonialism, because not everybody suffered from slavery, but everybody went through white supremacy, one of the chief things that we've been taught that we never got out of, and the number one goal of slavery, colonialism, white supremacy is to turn the victim into a willing accomplice in your own extermination. Turn the victim into a willing accomplice in your own extermination. I read an article the other day. They said by 2050, white people will be a minority in America.
That's already done.
Okay? By 2050, Hispanics and Mexicans and Asians will outnumber white people.
Well,
so
that's
what?
already happening.
There has been a minority on the planet since the beginning of existence. Mm-hmm. What did it have to do with the power differential between Africans and Europeans? Nothing. Numbers don't mean nothing unless you put them to work. They have always been a minority. But who runs the economy? Nobody but them. White males are 46% of college-age students. 46, that's less than half. But they are 96% of the CEOs, 96% of the principals, 95% of partners at the law firms. So when you look at white supremacy, it might change shape, it might change form, but it never changes substance. It never changes substance. And the problem with Obama, with black people, is that we can't look beyond the surface of his skin tone. Nobody bothered to ask who dressed him up and put him out there. Are you not aware that this man in 12 years, which makes him the fastest of all time, went from a little-known state senator in a heavy black district of Chicago running for the presidency? Running for the presidency. He's been in the Senate for 3 years. He's been running for president for 2 of the 3, which means he only been doing work for 1 year. What black man you know could run for president of the United States and have only been active as a senator for a year?
We need stop uplifting other people in our narrative. If you're going to do it, hold them accountable, at least. At least.
Why is it in 2004 the Democratic National Convention gave Barack Obama the keynote speech? He was only a state senator. State senators never give keynote addresses at the political national convention. Not even the white ones. But he did it as the state senator of Chicago. Why? Because they chose him before you knew him. And by giving him the 04 speech, it guaranteed that he would beat Alan Keyes for the U.S. senatorial spot from Illinois, and then the rest was history. See, when Obama moved to Chicago, he tried to unseat former Black Panther Bobby Rush.
No, I'm talking to Lisa.
Bobby Rush blew him out the water in the election. He told him he would spank him and then spanked him. In fact, he said something to the fact, who the hell does white boy think he is coming into my district? He don't know.
She was saying people trip me out downloading others. Downplaying, I should say. Downplaying others when they aren't accountable. What do you mean? What do you mean?
The first thing about black people, he was raised as a white man. And then he spanked him. So the Democratic Party stepped in and said, he's not going to make it if we leave it up to his own measure. So they gave him the DNC keynote. And so he didn't even have to worry about being a state senator no more, because in a few months he was running for U.S. senator, the third in history. Now, when we look at the financial backing of Obama, you see that his #1 campaign contributor happens to be the only bank on Wall Street that hasn't floundered. Goldman Sachs has given Barack Obama more money than everybody else put together. Most of his contributions did not come from poor people on the street. It came from rich, white, old money. Rich, white, old money. Don't listen to what they tell you on CNN. CNN is owned by the corporations. You got the truth. Why is Goldman Sachs? Why are they putting so much money behind this half Negro? Why? Because they know that the families that run America have been eyeing Obama for the past 4 years, because they see something in him that would allow them to take white supremacy to the next level. Because black people in Asia don't think no more than we do. And black people in Africa don't think no more than we do. In fact, I gave this same speech in Nigeria 3 months ago, and they looked at me like I was crazy. You got Obama maniacs in Africa too, who think that if Obama is elected president, he's going to stop the World Bank and International Monetary Fund from stepping on Africa's throat. You got black people in America, although he hasn't said one thing about us this whole 2 years, he ain't mentioned black people. But we think that he's going to change the schools, even though schools are run by the state. We think he's going to do something about prison, even though prisons are run by the state. In fact, most of what affects you on a daily basis is state sanctioned, not federal. And there's something called states' rights that evolved during the civil rights era, where the government in D.C. is told to keep their hands off certain things. But even if he could, Barack Obama isn't interested in helping black people, because he don't see himself as that.
From the people.
Biologically, he might be African, but consciously, he's all European. And we fail to realize that. If you take out the fact that his father, who he never knew, was a Kenyan, you get a white man. Trained at the best schools. Grew up in a middle-class neighborhood. And when you read his 2 autobiographies, and most Obama maniacs have not, he tells you clearly that I'm not for affirmative action. I'm not for reparations. I'm not for an apology for slavery, which he reiterated last month in an exclusive TV interview.
Not for reparations? Obama? I forgot about that. Shame on me. Shame on me. Not for affirmative action, not for reparations. He clearly had a plan for the American people, including Africa. Wow. But you're not convinced, so
What black man could be against reparations, against an apology for slavery, and against affirmative action? To be against all three automatically necessitates that he's the enemy of his own race. Automatically. But the Obama maniac camp would say, give him some time. In fact, we're the only race of people who have been conditioned to think that it's okay for the leadership to sell you short. The only group, if Obama was an Asian, he would not have ignored his people this long, or something would have happened to him by now. If he was an Arab, it's impossible. Only with Negro leadership can you ignore your whole constituency and still be treated like a great person. At the acceptance speech on King Day, anniversary of the March on Washington, he called the homosexuals his brothers and sisters. Our homosexual brothers and sisters, as he said, are entitled to the same rights as everybody else. He talked about poor whites.
Wait, what? What does this have to do with Obama's arresting anyone? I'm not getting it. I don't think he said it. Oh, nothing was said about Obama arresting anyone. Let me go back, because I didn't hear that part.
How affirmative action doesn't help them. In Washington, he called the homosexuals his brothers and sisters. Tell you short, the only group, if Obama was an Asian, he would not have ignored his people this long, or something would have happened to him by now. If he was an Arab, it's impossible. Only with Negro leadership can you ignore your whole constituency and still be treated like a great person.
You still on that? I can't find the clip because it's so old, but I must continue to look for it. But that's just two people. What about the people? What about the what was his name? Osama bin Laden. What about that shit? That's his only claim to victory. His only claim to victory. But let me continue.
At the acceptance speech on King Day, anniversary of the March on Washington, he called the homosexuals his brothers and sisters.
Oh, you keep saying that because you love Obama so much. That was your gift. That was your president. That's your only gift. Your only hand clap. Oh, we made it. No different than the FBA's. We made it. Oh my! How dare you not vote for a woman whose identity is black than the ace of spades? Do you think voting for a man who's delusional? And I was like, I didn't vote for neither one of them motherfuckers. I wish I never voted for you. Like I said, if I had that DeLorean and I went back in time, I would be like, no, don't vote for Obama. Y'all need to, you know what, for a joke, y'all need to go and find that Boondocks video. Y'all need to find that Boondocks video about the Obama. Go find that Boondocks video. This is one of the reasons why Boondock doesn't exist anymore, because of the simple fact that he uncovered what Obama is mostly about, and that's basically running away from, his responsibility. I'm not saying cater to every black, but damn. If I don't know, some people it's just like worshiping idols. It's just like worshiping idols. I don't cling to anyone just because it's like a Saturday night and I'm driving a pink Cadillac for the first time and I'm washing it. I rented that damn car. I'm just driving around the strip just because I can. And then afterwards, when I get done, I'm going to take it back. Especially when it fucks up. I'm taking it back. With Obama, you never asked no questions. You just said, yay! Look where we are now.
Our homosexual brothers and sisters, as he said, are entitled to the same rights as everybody else. He talked about poor whites and how affirmative action doesn't help them. He talked about women and how they get shortchanged. He talked about Hispanics and how hate crimes against Hispanics have been going up through the roof. But he failed to mention that the #1 recipient of hate crimes in America has always been and continues to be black people. But it never comes out his mouth. Never comes out his mouth. See, I don't expect Obama to wave a fist. I'm not saying that. Of course you can't go out there and wave a fist. But you should speak to us as much as you speak to anybody else. We're not asking for more, we're asking for equality. But for a
That's all we're
black man
asking.
to ignore people for 2 years, not go to one black school, one black elementary school. The only black churches he go to is the ones that already sold the hell out. What black context has he ever been in and you've seen him talking? One time he got caught in a community meeting in Florida and a group of brothers
Here it is.
up and start shouting questions at him.
Here it
What
is.
is in your program for us? And they got arrested and thrown out.
There it is. There
Only time he
it is.
got caught because he has nothing to say to you or for you.
There it is. I didn't find the video, but the words just came out of his mouth. It's like everybody knows about this. Everybody knows about this. Let me start that over again, shall
And I
we?
will say this, they got arrested and thrown out. One time he got caught in a community meeting in Florida and a group of brothers jumped up and started shouting questions at him. What is in your program for us? And they got arrested and thrown out. One time he got caught in a community meeting in Florida and a group of brothers jumped up and started shouting questions at him. What is in your program for us? And they got arrested and thrown out. The only time he got caught because he has nothing to say to you or for you. And I will say this on his behalf.
And that was at the time where when he did that, he separated himself from his pastor. I forgot who his pastor was. And he started separating himself from all the real black news media who was going to ask him the hard questions. I remember like it was yesterday. I was in Lansing, Michigan at the time, and I was 20-some years old, working at some office building.
If they choose him, and 95%, it looks like they will. If they choose him, and he does nothing for black people, you cannot complain. Why? Because you never asked him a single question about his agenda for the race. Nobody asked Obama one question, any interview, letter, or nothing about what his plans were for black people. So when he gets in and does nothing, at the end of the day, technically speaking, he cannot be held accountable. He can literally say, I never promised y'all nothing. You can't put that on me. In fact, Tavis Smiley, who's an integrationist himself, but he got upset because Tavis invited Obama to one of the black town halls. He rejected it. Then he invited him on Channel 12 for that one-on-one interview for his talk show. He rejected it. In fact, many people believe the reason why Tom Joyner got rid of Tavis Smiley because he had a talk show on Joyner Station. They say Tom Joyner got mad because Tavis Smiley kept on bad-mouthing Obama for not showing up on the black town hall meeting discussion. And he's an integrationist and he was pissed off. You see? But my point is with presidential politics, when you study your history, is that no president in America has attempted to or has ever helped black people. In fact, the two names that you always get is Abraham Lincoln and JFK. Now, if you've ever read anything on either two of these white men, you'll see that they never cared about black people and never would have done anything for them unless they were forced to do so. Abraham Lincoln did not free a soul. The Emancipation Proclamation, the preliminary and the final, was issued to slaves in states that had already rebelled from the Union. That's like Russia telling Georgia to let your slaves go free when Georgia don't recognize them as being subservient to Russia. So basically, it's empty language. The slaves are the ones who saved Lincoln and the Union. After the Battle of Gettysburg, even though they won it, they were exhausted. And so Frederick Douglass, Martin Delany, Henry Highland Garnett, Harriet Tubman, and others told Lincoln that if you don't let the Negro in, you're going to lose your whole damn country. And so they let the blacks in, and within a year, we had took care of the whole thing. In fact, even race.
See, I knew I'll find it sooner or later. I don't find parts of it, but I don't have to. You don't have to believe me. Read what? Do a report on that. You don't have to read the whole thing for yourself. Umar is leaving something out. No, he isn't. No, he isn't, because I have to. If I find the actual clip, Barb, I don't know what you're gonna say after that, because this is how it is, and it's in my brain like it was yesterday. He literally had to look back. I'm talking about Obama. He literally had to look back and speak to the people who were shouting down at him. He literally did that. I had to find that. He was literally looking back and talking, and Secret Service agents, you know how Secret Service agents are. He was literally looking down at them, and he was a senator at the time. So I had to probably go back 2015, somewhere around there, something like that. But at any rate, I don't want to keep boring y'all to death, because you love your Obamas. You really love your Obama. Let me see.
Black elite whose agenda is the same as your drug industry of $500 billion a year, access to black neighborhoods, helping them establish networks so they can sell their dope. Drugs is a form of, I'm probably on there, some of you on there. Okay. The little ugly fat thing that you do not raise your black children to believe that they have a choice. Understand this, if a white person, and on a popular vote ticket, he only beat McCain by 3 million votes, and out and voted for the man. And I'm not saying you did anything wrong, because you don't choose the president any damn way. The Electoral College chooses the president of the United States. See, that night that Barack Obama won, I was looking at the popular vote ticker. And on the popular vote ticker, he only beat McCain by 3 million votes. You know what that means? He only beat him by one small state. And that's why you wonder why he gets so much hate now. People say, well, wait a minute, how he get so much hate? Well, he won in the landslide. No, he won the Electoral College vote in the landslide. The people, he won by one state. But here's my issue. You ain't gonna catch hell under Obama. You're gonna catch more hell when he's no longer in office. Let me tell you why. You have went on record, us, the Negro people, have went on record as saying what? No matter what that man does not do for me, he can ignore me, he can ignore police brutality, he can ignore miseducation, he can ignore the over-incarceration of black men, and he's still my man. So let me ask you a question. 8 years from now, when Obama is no longer president of the United States, and Jim Brown the cracker is in the White House, and you go send a man with the perm up there, what's his name? You send Al Sharpton up there to go and debate for you. You know what that new president going to tell you? Get out my damn face. You just had a Negro in office for 8 years and let him do whatever he wanted to. You never hold him accountable one time. So how you think you're just going to start holding white presidents accountable, but the black presidents get to ignore you? I'll never do another thing for you for the rest of my life. I'm telling you, by letting Obama slide for a decade, you let every white president slide for the rest of eternity. And it's after Obama that you're going to see black folks catch hell like you ain't never caught before, because you let somebody manipulate your consciousness. And by manipulating your consciousness, they was also able to manipulate your loyalty.
I'm kind of thinking, doesn't that happen now? Oh, who's holding Umar? Oh, stop it, Lisa. Stop it. Stop it. Always picking and choosing. Always picking and choosing.
And another thing, I got to give a shout out to Black and Nobel. I know they got a diverse array of books up here. We got, the soft porn up here, but they still got the conscious stuff in the back. No, I'm going to tell you why I'm saying that. Because when you go to certain bookstores, particularly those that's owned by Europeans, you will find that the conscious black literature section has all but disappeared. Grab your mind around. And I don't know why I keep seeing Barack Obama's face on posters with Dr. King and Malcolm X, and most disrespectfully, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, who would probably spit in the man's face. Okay? And that's why people who do art, if we got any artists in here, you got to be a conscious artist. Okay? You got to stop making pictures that are big lies. Okay? Garvey facing Obama, that's a lie. King on the shirt with Obama, that's a lie. Why is it a lie? Because Dr. King was for reparations, read his speeches. Obama is against it. Dr. King is for civil rights and affirmative action. Obama is against it. Not only is Obama against that, he also said that he's not even interested in an apology for slavery. Barack Obama, your president.
I'm done. Cut, paste, copy. Put it on a poster. I'm done. I'm done, fam. So, with that being said, you know I love y'all. You know I'm gonna bring the truth. I'm gonna bring the fucking truth. The same thing. I still got one. Same thing. Umar is saying he is guilty, but Flowers don't care about that. Flowers don't care about that. Huh? I'll let you have it. Whatever. I'll let you have that. Well, people are focused on Obama. They need to focus on the now. They are to focus on the now. They just know. They just know the hit. They know the history of not what to do. They just know the thing of not what to do. And I would vote for it. They ain't vote for it. We holding each and every single black person who's going in to see accountable. That's including Jasmine. I made those videos too. Or did you not remember? Oh, I love you both. I gotta get out of here. My dinner's ready. But until then, same bat time, same bat channel.